Well, excuse me. Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. I apologize for that cough. But today, let's talk about Bitcoin following this pattern. It's textbook pattern, and what comes next will shock you. Let's talk about what's going on in Bitcoin and everything else that's going on in crypto today. Welcome. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. So Bitcoin is still hovering around $30,000. Seems to have formed a really strong base, right? Little volatility. There's no falling back to 28 or 26. No, it's just solid at 30,000. And why is that? Well, obviously, the BlackRock spot ETF kind of changed the narrative recently. But also, if you're looking at some of these things, for example, traders like to put on puts if they feel like, hey, there may be a downward movement coming. That's not the case. Also, the strength in margins and options, the futures market because of the spot Bitcoin ETF. And also, let's keep in mind, we do have the futures ETF and options. They're all showing pretty good volume strength within all of these. So if you're looking at confirmation, right, if you're looking at for specific reasons why Bitcoin is so strong, it's mostly because of the optimism and enthusiasm of what's coming. Seeing how the big institutions are now all FOMOing into Bitcoin, right? That has not changed. And it's only going to get stronger. But if you're looking at, if you're trying to look at the finer print, the smaller details, right, of what people really think besides the growing fundamentals and on-chain metrics, if you're looking at what these traders do to kind of hedge themselves against a fall, well, they're not doing it right now. So it just seems like there's just no bears left, really. There's no bears left. No one that thinks that, yeah, we're going to fall back to previous lows and make a new low. People are getting bullish. That's quite simply it. That's why Bitcoin is so strong at $30,000 and will only build from here. Now, this is what I use in my thumbnail. This is this textbook pattern. It's called Wyckoff method. Okay? This has been used for hundreds of years. I don't know about hundreds, but it's been used a long time in the stock market. Okay, and this is what the whales do short term to accumulate more and to drive out everyone else. This is what those pesky traders do to scare everyone so that they can accumulate as much as possible before it starts running, right? And you look at this Wyckoff pattern and you look at Bitcoin's pattern. I mean, it's so similar. It's following almost the pattern to a T, okay? Now, I think the downfall was maybe a little bit extended because of FTX and, some of the Black Swan stuff that happened in 2022, but you could see, wow, that's almost identical. But here's the good news. This is why this will shock people, because after the accumulation is done, and that's when Bitcoin was below 20,000, hovering 16, 17. Remember those days? I think a lot of you guys still remember. And I told you guys those were the days to be really bullish, to be DCAing, right? To accumulate as much as possible, because we may never, ever see those levels again, right? That's exactly what the whales did. And now we are breaking above. And if this continues, if there was a continuation of this Wyckoff method, it would show you a pretty good recovery from here on out, right? And many other charts and metrics also show this. But what this also confirms is that the accumulation of the whales is over, okay? this manipulation that they've been trying to put on, you know what, maybe over. And this correlates with the fact that we're coming out of crypto winter and we're starting the next bull run, right? So it kind of all plays together. Yeah. So other confirmations about us entering bull run. If you look at this MACD histogram, and this is on a monthly scale, we have just come out of red, and we formed the very first green candle. And you could see that the last time this happened, Bitcoin went up 628%. It didn't happen right away. It took a while, but that's what happened. Okay, so what does that mean? If we follow the same kind of trajectory, starting from here, and we go up 600-something%, well, that's going to put Bitcoin in the 200,000 range, okay? And maybe even further than that. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things to be bullish about. So many things to be bullish about these days. By the way, in case you can't see that, I mean, this is the monthly scale. So to have a reversal like that, right, to go into red and then slowly come up from there and then turn green does not happen very often. It takes years for that to happen. Also, more confirmation. This is from Plan B. You could see, well, that's according to pattern, right? There's no doubt we have stopped and come out of this last crypto winter, and we are in the next bull run. And this confirms it, right? It's pretty obvious. Color-coded. The red is usually bearish, very bearish capitulation. Blue is recovery. And then green is what I like to refer to as the parabolic run. And that hasn't come yet, usually after the halving event, but who knows? Maybe it starts early this time around. Maybe it could start at the end of the year rather than, next April or May. It could happen with all the optimism and enthusiasm that's happening right now. We could see a lot more money flowing into the space a lot sooner than expected. In fact, this week, I covered an article from Bank of America that says there's about $8 trillion on the sidelines. $8 trillion on the sidelines. Okay, imagine if just even 1 trillion flows into the market, what it would do. But here's another interesting thing. Number of depositing addresses, okay, into the exchanges is falling like a rock. Because who's trying to sell right now, right? Like, who is trying to deposit and sell? Very, very little people. No one wants to sell because they know what's coming. And what's coming? Well, according to ARK Invest, this is not this cycle. This is projected out to 2030. Okay, so 2 cycles. Or actually, the next cycle after this one that we're in. I mean, the most bearish case by 2030 is 260,000. That's the most bearish case. Average case, 682,000. That's when Bitcoin will equal the market cap or be close to the market cap of gold, around 12 to 13 trillion. Okay? And in the bull scenario, which I like, Bitcoin could be as high as 1.5 million each, okay? Not your entire portfolio, each by 2030. That's only 7 years if you think about it. That's only 7 years. So, do you want to wait for that? Do you want to wait 7 years for 1.5 million each? I do. This is why it's important to be accumulating and DCAing now while things are cheap versus what's going to happen in the future, right? So, still, all good things happening right now with Bitcoin, but it's not just Bitcoin. I tend to focus on Bitcoin because it's the big daddy and is showing a lot of strength, and we're almost back to 50% dominance. But, there's a lot of others that are doing quite fine. Recently, people have noticed, why is Solana pumping? Solana has been weak, really, really weak. And I got I got curious. Why is Solana pumping, right? Is it just because people are going back into Solana, or maybe some hot NFT sale, right? It turns out it may be the latter. So Coca-Cola and Solana are teaming up in Serbia, and there's some kind of music festival where Coca-Cola NFTs can be redeemed or bought, and this is on top of Solana, right? Solana does have a decent NFT marketplace. A lot of these chains, you know, if you look at their volume, it's mostly from NFTs. Solana is one of them. Cardano used to be another one, but I think now Cardano, some of the dApps have taken over the volume. But a lot of chains, if you look at most of their volume, is from NFTs. So this is bringing some excitement back to Solana. That's why they've been moving okay recently, right? But keep in mind, if you're a Solana fan, okay, it is still down majorly. So that shows you kind of the potential that's still on the table. It's still down 91.7% from all-time highs. Okay, about 260. Solana right now is about, what, $20 each? $21, okay? So this is what I'm saying. A lot of people ask me, George, what's the next 10x coin? I mean, Solana is a top 10 coin, and it has to do 10x, basically, to get back to its previous high. So you don't have to go into page 2 or page 5 to look for the next 10x coin. You can find it right in the top 10. I would argue Doge, Cardano, okay? And I hate to say it, but even like Litecoin, Polkadot, Polygon, some of these biggest ones, and I got some Polygon news, they have to go like 10x just to get to their previous highs, right? That's just to get back there. But of course, this cycle is going to push everything even higher. There's going to be even more money in this space. So imagine that. So 10x is only the beginning. What's after that? Another 10x? Another 20x? I mean, just think about that for a second, okay? So this is why it's important to be DCing right now, again, while things are cheap. Because once things get back to their previous highs and start going beyond, then they are no longer cheap at all. But still, they'll be cheap compared to the next cycle. But it's just, you know, it just goes to show how early we are in this recovery process. We're still nowhere close to previous levels. Nowhere close. And we will get there. We will get there. Grayscale. Grayscale adds Lido or Lido to its DeFi fund, showing growing institutional interest in liquid staking. Yeah, I mean, the reason why ETH staking isn't at a higher percentage is because so much ETH is being staked in Lido and Rocket Pool and everyone else that provides liquid staking, because it gives additional benefit, additional value, okay? And it makes sense that institutions want to get involved with that. But overall, for Ethereum, I mean, it's still holding. It's deflationary, right? Some of the meme stuff has cooled down, so the fees started coming down, the burns started coming down, but overall, a lot of good things still happening with Ethereum. Yeah, this battle between DCG and Gemini is still ongoing. The Winklevoss twins decided to sue DCG and Barry Silbert for fraud. DCG is saying it's a publicity stunt, so it's starting to get a little nasty. We'll see how it ends up. I haven't heard anything about DCG, and Barry for a long time. I don't know what's going on. So there's that. And finally, Polygon. Polygon is promoting their previous chief legal officer, Mark, I can't pronounce the last name, Boyron, I think that's how it is, to CEO, which is interesting. Polygon has, they're trying to transform to 2.0, right? Polygon 2. and they want to go global. They want to make sure that they're compliant, and they want to make sure that their two chains, their ZK EVM and their normal Polygon chain, are, you know, eventually going to merge and play nicely. There's a lot of things happening at Polygon, but yeah, so there's a new CEO for Polygon, but I'm very bullish on Polygon. And they also, just like Solana, they have to go up quite a lot to match their previous highs. So there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much calm day, a cool day, but you know, this pattern is complete, and who knows what's coming next. Well, I do, but you have to be patient about it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, missed some super chats here. Carpo, is VeChain listed on Coinbase roadmap bullish? What do you think? Yes. Oleg, Algorand has to go up 27x just to get to its previous high. Yeah. A lot of these big caps and mid caps. Well, Algorand no longer a big cap. It's a mid cap. There's so many on top 100 that has to go up 10x and even more than that just to get back to its previous high. So it just shows you how crazy FOMO is during a bull run. Most of you guys have experienced 2021. 2021 was crazy, but it was kind of capped right at the end, right as we headed into 2022 because of Gary. But had we not been capped, had we had that crazy December and January like what we had in 2017, things would have been so much higher. That last leg up, you know, in the final month, those of you guys that's been in it a while, you'll remember after 2017, Bitcoin topped out 20,000. From like that midpoint of December to the midpoint of January is when you saw things go up like 50x within a month. Some even 100x. That's how crazy it was before we started coming down. I think in 2021, we could have had that. We missed out because we kind of topped out right around November and December. We started coming down. But had Powell not done what he's done, you know, that December going to January, we would have saw Bitcoin break 100,000, and we would have saw like Ethereum possibly break 10,000, and all these other ones be so much higher, right? So bull runs are extremely, or the parabolic runs are extremely crazy, and I think this time around we'll see the same thing. It will probably happen in 2025, not in 2024, but you know, it's just a few years off. DJ, replace Gary. I don't know. I don't think I'll be good at that job, because I would just think everything is a non-security. Yeah, I would not want that job. I don't want anyone's, you know, these tough positions. I don't want Gary's job. I don't want Powell's job, especially Powell, man. He's under so much pressure. It doesn't matter what he does. He's gonna get bashed for it. But when the consensus thinks he's wrong, I mean, that's even more pressure, right? So, yeah, these guys, I don't envy them. How much pressure is put on them. They're scrutinized over every decision. It's tough. It's tough. Coffee of choice. You know, I just go buy some K-Cups, Dunkin' Donut K-Cups from Costco, or their breakfast blend. and that's it. Black coffee. I try to follow intermittent fasting. I break it sometimes on the weekends, but normally I don't eat anything after dinner until lunchtime. So I just drink black coffee. Bruce, thank you. How does it feel knowing you changed so many lives, according to Andrew? I'm humbled by it. Every time I meet someone, even though sometimes it's very awkward, I'm humbled by that. I'm like a mini celebrity, right? And I would not figure that I get recognized as much as I do. There's a lot of people that watch me. Just the other day, I was walking around this mall that's near me. And they're opening up some Asian bubble tea place, right? And they're still trying to open up. And one of the guys was like walking out carrying something. He's like, "You're George, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I just kind of walked by. And he walked to his car and came back. And we had this awkward look. I mean, it's like, sometimes interactions are kind of awkward. But sometimes, people want to take a picture or something. And it happens more often than you would think. But I'm glad it doesn't happen way more, because then it just become a nuisance. Everyone talks trash about Paul, but imagine being in that position. I'm serious. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's easy to bash someone when you're not in their shoes. If you are actually Paul, you're getting pressure from everywhere. Right, I'm sure, Larry Fink is probably calling him, and Biden's calling him, and Congress is calling him, and Gary's calling him, and he pays attention to the comments from the reporters and everyone, bashing him and making him second guess himself. I'm sure it's nonstop for him. So yeah, I would never want that job, never ever. That's not intermittent fasting. Eating once every 24 hours is real. Bullish Bradley. I've never heard that before, and no, I'm not gonna be doing that. Solana. Well, Solana has a long ways to go, right? But it is up 16% for this week, so that's pretty good. 17% for this week. This week, most are in red. But yeah, they're up good amount. Yeah, for this week, most are red. Solana's marketplace is very strong, loads of daily volume. Yeah. So I was talking about, I covered how there's a Coca-Cola collaboration, but only in Serbia. But Solana is really carried by their NFTs right now. I mean, I don't hear a lot of dApps being widely used on Solana. Maybe Helium, but a lot of people complain about Helium after they moved to Solana. But their NFT marketplace still carries good volume. Search. Does anyone use the dictionary anymore? Well, that's funny. Do you use CoinTracker? If so, did you or anyone else in the chat notice the way they change or calculate cost bases? It completely threw off my BTC and ETH price. Can you explain it? No, I didn't notice that. How do you change a way to calculate cost basis? It's just averaging out all your buys and sells. I don't see how that can change. So, sorry, Joe Lamas, I can't help you there. And, you know, keeping track of cost basis really, it's a small thing. All you need to track is, okay, is your portfolio going up in dollar value, and is it going up BTC value? Okay, if the overall portfolio is going down in terms of BTC value, you're doing something wrong. Well, I say that lightly because there are some times where, unless you're 100% in BTC, you're going to see that overall portfolio in BTC value go down because BTC is so strong. But that's why you don't want to go too heavy into alts. But yeah, you just, all that matters is those two things: is the dollar value going up, and the overall BTC value of your portfolio, is that going up? Johnny, no, that's not real life. I'm not like Tom Brady. I don't get hounded like that. And luckily, yeah, it's not like that. And hopefully, it'll never be like that. That'd be a horrible way to live. To be a, you know, one of these movie stars, or, you know, one of these celebrities, athlete, where wherever you go, you get hounded by a million people. That's horrible. That's no way to live. You have no privacy at all. I hope it never gets like that for me. Cardano is better long term. Solana is better short term. Well, the funny thing is, though, Cardano is still holding above Solana. So, you know, people like to bash Cardano for how slow it is, but it's still 7 on CMC. Avalanche is having a good day. Avalanche up 8%. I'm a big fan of Avalanche as well. I don't know why they're up 7% today. ApeCoin is also up 7% today. Johnny, I appreciate that. That's what I try to do. But, you know, if I become a ultra whale in this next bull run, things might change. No promises. No, I'm just kidding. I'll still, you know, the thing is, I think people change. Depends on, well, let me take that back. Money doesn't change someone. It just allows them to be who they are. Let's just put it that way, right? There's a lot of people that are dicks once they are rich, but the thing is, they probably were dicks already when they were poor. So, I truly feel like, you know, money doesn't change people. It just allows them to be who they are. That's so. If you're a good person, you like to save money, you're humble. I mean, you're gonna still have those qualities even if you do become rich. So if you like helping people, you'll continue to help people even if you're rich. It's like that. That's how I see it. If you're miserable, okay, if you have non-money issues when you're broke, you're gonna have non-money issues when you're rich too. That's why not every rich person is happy, because they have a lot of other issues. Yes, I have heard of Morpheus Network. I've covered them before. Um, I don't know. Kind of neutral on them. supply chain project that I like the most is VeChain by far. Morpheus Network has a few interesting things, but it's more like a B2B play, and yeah, so I'm just neutral on them. You know, they won some awards, they tracked some ships from this one port. I don't know if they've done more than that since I covered them. All right, guys. I'll let you have your Saturday back. Overall, Bitcoin still holding very strong. The whales do not want to let go. And you know what? Not only do they not want to let go, they've been accumulating. And we have so many confirmations now that we are in the next bull run. It's just a matter of having patience and holding. That's it. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one. I'm going to see you guys on Monday. So nothing tonight or tomorrow. But I do have clips on my clips channel. So make sure you check those out. All right. Have a good one.